Welcome to the Elliott Confidential Podcast. I'm Christopher Elliott, and I'm here with my boys, Iden Elliott
Kon'nichiwa.
and Aaron Elliott.
Yours truly. And we're not sick anymore, are we? No more excuses, guys.
We're less sick than we were.
A little bit
before.
sick.
We're in Tokyo, and today's podcast is going to be a really special one because we're talking about what it's like to be embedded, real life, in Tokyo.
What it's like to be in bed?
Embedded,
Oh.
yes.
Because we could just go over to the other
Yeah,
room
you would
real
know what
quick.
it's like to be in bed because you've been in bed the entire last week trying to
So
get
would
on the
you.
record. We're going to talk about the last of the cherry blossoms because I thought they were going to be gone by now, but they're still here. Mm-hmm. And also, if in case you've never heard of Japanese vending machines, they're a thing here. Like in Tokyo especially, you can get anything from a vending machine. So we'll also discuss that and camera stores.
But this week's question of the week. What is this week's question of the week?
We're here for a month. So we thought we would ask, what's the longest that you have ever been on a vacation? And where did you go? And was it worth going on vacation for as long as you did? Everyone is planning their travel itineraries for the upcoming summer season. So I think a lot of folks are wondering, should I stay for a week or 2 weeks or even longer than that? So what is the ideal vacation length? Please tell us.
Please tell us.
Okay.
Please. So, Dad,
What?
what about the sakura?
We should start with a beautiful photo of the sakura. Is it called sakura or sakura?
Sakura.
Sakura.
Sakura. The cherry blossoms have been gorgeous, and we were out all week long taking pictures. When we weren't sleeping, we were out all day long, taking pictures of cherry blossoms. Mm-hmm. They're gorgeous. Look at this. Look at this picture of a cherry blossom.
Beautiful.
And
Is it beautiful enough?
It is. I thought that they would be off the trees. Oh, here's another one. This is a nice close-up shot that I took.
Guys, comment below if these are beautiful enough or if they don't meet your standards.
And then, you can see the leaves are starting to come out, but mostly it still is just like white cherry blossoms.
Yeah, that was the first few days we were here. That was the first 2 or 3 days we were here, and now they're mostly green with a little bit of cherry blossoms.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
But the good part is that the pink cherry blossoms, there are a lot of different types of cherry blossoms. The pink cherry blossoms are still out, but the problem is they're just not as nice as the white cherry blossoms. They're a little bit bigger and they're not as sightly.
It's a phenomenon here. The Japanese love their cherry blossoms. But you know what they love even more than that, guys?
Vending machines.
No, we're going to get to the vending machines in a minute. They love keeping things clean. So the moment that the cherry blossoms fall, you see guys running. We have a photo here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They run over and they sweep, and then the cherry blossoms fall. And it's like a blizzard of just beautiful, especially the white ones. When they fall, it feels like you're in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the pink ones fall.
It's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Because it's all red.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Anyway, yes, let's move on. Let's move on from there. I think we've said all we've got to say about cherry blossoms. Although I will add just one thing, I guess, is that I've never seen this many blossoms in my entire life, and we've been to other places like Washington D.C. during cherry blossom season, and I lived in New York for a while. But never this many blossoms.
I have to say, I prefer orange blossoms because you get to smell them.
Oh, at night, yeah.
Those are nice.
Those are really
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. Vending machines. I have some photos to share with you because this is really Iden's department.
I like vending machines.
So Iden, please, you can buy anything from a vending machine here.
Yeah. You can buy drinks. You can gamble at vending machines. You can buy women's underwear. I'm their number one customer.
And pizza.
You can buy pizza. You can buy more women's underwear if you so please.
Okay, I think you've already
Ramen?
exhausted the... you can buy ramen too, and women's underwear too.
Yep. And then you can also buy toys.
And you can buy sriracha too. Like we've got a picture of you.
Various types of toys. Yeah, the sriracha, that one's cool.
Yeah, it's a vending machine that just has sriracha.
Mm-hmm.
So you can press any button and you'll get the right thing.
Well, I was trying to decide which sriracha I wanted in that picture.
Yeah, right.
And I just didn't know. I mean, top right looked good, but middle left, that one also
decisions.
Caught my
right?
eye. Yeah.
There are actually some things here that in Japan that are really great in terms of, maybe not necessarily automation, but variety, and those are the camera stores. And we have a picture here of Iden with, this is a camera that I think you want to buy.
No, that's too
No.
big of a lens.
It's huge. This is a 400 millimeter lens.
That lens really made me feel inadequate. I don't want to buy that.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
So we're instead probably going to get a different camera. But we were looking at video cameras because Fujifilm, it's a photography camera. We've been using Fujifilms for a while, but we're thinking of using them just for photography and swapping out our second camera for a Lumix that's better equipped for autofocus for video. So we might go back there and get one.
We have to be nice because we are using the Fujifilm to film this now. And
Well, that's the X-T5.
If we denigrate the Fujifilm, it might stop working.
That's the X-T5. We're selling the X-T4.
Aaron, what is the average Japanese camera store like? Can you describe it?
Well, doing the average is, it's pretty small, unfortunately.
No, I mean, okay, the big ones that we went
But
to.
if you go to a big one, and we've been to one like this before. I remember when we were staying near Kyoto station, Kyoto main station, they had a big department store like this.
Yeah, actually, the camera stores are so small that in this picture he has to bend over just to fit into the halls.
Yes. They put at that's where the lenses were, and he was looking for a particular lens.
If he stands up, he hits the ceiling, so he has to crouch down the whole time.
They're not that, the ceilings are not that low, but they are. It does feel very claustrophobic when you go in there. But they're
Me in the background, I'm in the 7-foot area.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah, that's me. I'm in the
I didn't-
7-foot area.
yeah.
That's why I can stand up. But this is the 6-foot area. If I went over there, I'd have to crouch down even further.
Okay.
Yeah, but in any case, these camera stores are extensive. They're unlike anything that I've seen. We were just in Australia, and there are some pretty good camera stores there, but nothing like this. There's just every camera and every lens that you could possibly imagine. And it's good because a lot of cameras are made here in Japan.
Right, and they're all set up too, so you can
Yeah.
actually turn them on and start taking pictures.
Many of them, yes.
Yeah, not all of them, but many of them, and so you get a really good idea of, and which is how we discovered the Lumix. Is that in the Lumix they had it set up, and you could see that it focused really well.
Yeah.
And we've been having some problems with the Fujifilm focusing it.
Yeah, because the Fujifilms because they're meant for video, they only expect you to want to focus when you push down the capture button halfway.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that all the time when you're recording.
No, it's just not optimized.
Yeah, it's just not optimized for you got to
video.
constantly keep pressing that button.
Yes.
And we've tested all the different settings. It doesn't have an option.
In fact, if you look very closely, you'll see that this podcast may not actually be in focus.
We're out of focus right
People
now.
have called me unfocused in my writing, so maybe it's kind of appropriate.
Yeah, my teachers call me unfocused.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry, that's the bomb we placed before the podcast.
We've now arrived at the part of the podcast where we get to make fun of all the signs that we see. And so in Japan, I think the way that they like they like having signs in English for people who are coming here to visit. And they, I think, use Google Translate for them, or some of the English skills that they picked up maybe in high school. But the translations are not always correct. So this is one of my favorite signs here. This was taken in the Dan Quixote in Shinjuku.
Yeah. This sign reads, "There is no restroom."
There is no restroom.
There is no restroom.
It's like an
No.
existential...
There will never be a restroom.
An existential statement. There is no restroom. Like there is no God.
There will never be joy in my life.
Yes. I like that one. I instead of saying no restroom available, it's just like there is no restroom.
Please, boss, not another nomikai. I can't keep drinking 5 bottles of soju every day. No, that's Korean, actually.
We take a walk normally down by the river in the morning, and when we were on one of our walks, we saw this sign: "Please put the garbage in the garbage. Don't leave it outside." That's very meta, actually. Put the garbage in the garbage.
Well, we say garbage when we talk about a garbage can sometimes.
Yeah.
I can see the confusion.
Yeah. Here's one that I am not sure what this means. "Please do not lean against or crash into the fire door as it may operate." You know some Japanese. What do you think they mean?
I don't know what it means.
Yeah. Aaron, any idea?
I don't know. There's a
No.
lot of characters in there.
Yeah, obviously.
There are a lot of characters.
Yeah. There's even more characters in the Chinese part.
Here's a smirking cat. Do you know of any other kind of cat? I think cats are always smirking at you. But the sign that we like says, "There's no need to act stupid, even though you're really good at it."
He had to zoom in on that one.
In my eyes, they're not what they used to be.
Yeah.
What makes this next one kind of funny?
Well, here, if you zoom in, here, it says, "Please kindly use the left side door," and then there's an arrow pointing right.
Yeah. Now, here's the funny thing about that sign is in Japanese, it also says use the left side door.
Do you think they got their left and right confused, maybe? Or
I think so. I think this is just a person that can't tell the difference between left and right.
maybe not. So don't forget this week's question, which is, what's the longest that you've ever gone on vacation, and where'd you go, and was it worth it? Iden, what is the longest that you've ever been on a trip, like in one place? Do you remember?
In one place?
Long as you've been in one place.
9 months.
That was Sedona, right?
In Sedona, yeah.
Yeah. And so
Don't recommend it.
was it worth it?
Well, actually, no. The hiking there is very good, but we got bored pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my answer is the same as your answer because we all were there.
I know we were all 9 months, and that was because of the pandemic that we were there.
Yeah. Unless you consider our time in Orlando, then that would be a 15-year trip.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That we actually lived there. We bought a house there. In our last podcast, we asked the question: is there a place that you always return to when you travel? And you had a lot of things to say about that. Sam says, "First, welcome back, Iden. Your quirky comments and observations have been missed." Oh, Iden.
Oh, thanks.
Good boy.
You're not going to like him for long.
Oh, I'm sure she will. Places I return to regularly: Abu Dhabi, Qatar, New Zealand, Australia, and Norway, and the list will undoubtedly shift or change with future visits to new places. You know, that list looks a lot like our list.
Mm-hmm. They're nice, but we haven't spent that much time in Norway, to be honest.
Yeah, I got to go back to my homeland.
Your homeland?
Yeah,
What is
aren't I
your
like
home-
44% Norwegian
You've got
or something?
some Norwegian in you.
Yeah, those
look
tests
at-
are bogus anyway. They just try to... They're just there to sell your genetic data to companies.
Well, yeah, now apparently all that genetic data is kind of out there because of the 23andMe bankruptcy. Who knows what's going to happen? They could buy it at auction or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly writes, Qualcomm Beach, Vancouver Island, British Columbia was always a calm and relaxing place for vacations when I worked in Silicon Valley. Well, I've never been to Qualcomm Beach. Have you?
No, but we've been to Vancouver, though. Yeah. And that's great. Good Chinese food. Do you remember Vancouver Island?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Okay, all right. But British Columbia is very nice. And
British
they have
Columbia is
good
nice.
skiing up at Whistler.
Yeah, Vancouver's an interesting location. Lisa says, nice France.
We used to live in Nice, and you call it nice?
That's the whole comment. I'm not going to
Nice-
read it as nice.
Nice France.
Also, you're supposed to put a comma between there if it's a location.
okay.
If you put a comma there, I would have said Nice.
You used to live in Nice. Did you like Nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you
Yeah,
like
it was,
about
it was
Nice?
nice.
Nice was
Nice is a nice place.
pretty nice. Yeah.
I know.
Shoe nice, one might say. That's a very niche reference, but it is a funny reference. Please keep that in the podcast.
Mickey says Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, London, Paris, and yes, Tokyo.
That is the most basic list I've ever heard.
It's a good list.
No.
I have to say that given over tourism rather, I'm glad I got to visit Tokyo when it was just a normal city. The shots of crowds there in Kyoto make me nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's over. All these places are over touristed because they're like everyone goes there.
Okay. Should Mickey be nervous about visiting now? Have we encountered a lot of crowds here?
Well, here's the thing: is all the crowds are Japanese people.
Yeah,
So honestly, I would say it's probably gonna look very similar to where you were last time. Because, I mean, what did more Japanese people come here?
No.
Since the last time they
Tokyo
came?
is a crowded city to
I think
begin
you'll,
with.
I think you'll probably have a very similar experience because it's not tourists that are making the crowds; it's just other Japanese people.
Well, this is the thing also about Tokyo is that I heard all sorts of things, mainly from this guy right here about how crowded and how everyone is going to try to be here for cherry blossom season. And it's like,
Well, yeah, there
I
wasn't
don't
even that
see
many.
anyone.
That's what I said.
The reason
It's
why people
normal.
think that it's overcrowded in Japan is because they keep taking videos of these small quarter-mile radius areas that are over-touristed, that everyone goes to, when in reality there's thousands of other places where you get the same experience because the cherry blossoms are everywhere.
I have just a story that I wanted to share, and that is we wanted to do a video about overcrowding. We were supposed to get started with our videos.
It wasn't crowded enough.
and it wasn't crowded enough.
Yes.
And so we were having a really difficult time coming up with crowd. This was in Shinjuku, which is
Yes.
the most crowded place.
Well, and also we wanted
all
to
of
get
Tokyo.
crowds of tourists, not
Yeah.
crowds of just regular Japanese salarymen, and that was all it was.
No, in Shinjuku we had tourists.
There
There
were
were a
tourists.
couple, but there weren't nearly as many as I thought. I thought it would be like half tourists.
Well, you weren't there the day that we did that, and there really was nothing.
Well, we've been there multiple days.
Ted says, "You're right. The list does not get shorter. Cape Cod, Green Mountains, Vermont, Wasatch Mountains, Utah, Riva del Garda, Madonna di Campiglio, Italy,
Never mind.
Madonna di Campiglio,
Madonna, yes.
Italy, Florence, Italy,
Florence, good
for a
one.
start.
Yes.
Those are really great places.
They are.
Seem very. They seem like natural beauty destinations.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. People like to put in cities. I totally get it, but there's always going to be room for natural beauty, like Yosemite, like Sedona, and then places in Europe, of course. I think one place that we would like to go back to 100% is where's that place on the Czech border?
Oh yes,
Schmirka.
Schmirka. Yeah, that was really
that
nice.
was totally worth it if you get the
Yeah, I
chance.
want to go back there.
Yeah, you know what? You do. It's great. You'll
It's
love it.
actually
You will
really
love it.
great.
It's so beautiful.
Schmirka is
Yeah,
great.
I
And
heard-
the
it was
hiking really reminds us a lot of Sedona.
It was so beautiful when I was there
Yeah.
with you guys.
Yeah, you missed a little bit of that. Anyway, we're going to have more from Tokyo next week. We're going to check out some grocery stores and other stuff. And who knows, we might even have a new camera where we can record that's not going to be all blurry. Anyway, have a great week. Don't forget to answer our question of the week. Bye. Konnichiwa. Sayonara.
I will never see you again, ever.
Ah, ha, ha.
Bye.
Sayonara.